So I know it's late. I went to go see a play, and then before that, my day was just crazy in a good way, but crazy. Like my Power Ranger Pokemon mashup shirt. I'm wearing like a Power Ranger shirt every day this week because of what's coming out. I get to see it tomorrow. So excited. Anyway, I don't have a lot of time, so let's do this. So we're talking about old school video games, and I love old school video games. They're kind of my thing. Let's start with Nintendo. My favorite Nintendo game was probably the third Super Mario Brothers game, but the second one was really good too. I loved it so much. Flying Peach just made my life. The original Zelda was another really great one. But probably my absolute favorite. Now that I think about it, my absolute favorite was Star Tropics. If you guys never played Star Tropics, you guys missed out. Such a good game. Okay, so on to Super Nintendo. My favorite Super Nintendo game, was probably Yoshi's Island. Gotta say, loved Yoshi's Island. It's so good. I actually got the remake of it for the DS and played through it. I mean, it was different, but it was so good. It was so much fun, and it was just so much fun to play that game again and just, love that game. I also loved Mario Paint. I don't know if anybody else played that game, but Mario Paint was so good. Loved it. That was when I started getting to Mario Kart, so there's that. But yeah, Super Nintendo is my thing. I also really loved the Lion King game. It was also on Sega, but I played it on Super Nintendo, and it was so hard and so great and so amazing, and I loved it. Let's move on to N64. So N64 obviously came with Ocarina of Time. Freaking love that game. It's my favorite Zelda game of all time. Close second being Wind Waker, but we'll get there. So Ocarina of Time, so good, so good. But my absolute favorite game on N64, and it's probably my favorite game ever to this day, is Super Mario 64. I just really loved the gameplay, the free world. I loved every aspect of that game. So good. I also loved Mario Kart 64. It's probably my favorite version of Mario Kart. Just so many great games on N64. Then GameCube, I really loved Pikmin and, like I said, Zelda Wind Waker. It was so good. It's such a great kind of version of Zelda, and I loved it. Those were really the only real games that I played on the GameCube, was Pikmin and Pikmin 1 specifically, and then Wind Waker. So then, even though PlayStation wasn't necessarily my favorite console, or wasn't the console I grew up with, I definitely did like Crash Bandicoot, the Crash Bandicoot series, and I really want to get a PlayStation 4 specifically so I can play Crash Bandicoot again in the new version, and I'm super excited that that's coming out, that's going to be a thing. So I really want to play that, but eventually one day. But yeah, Crash Bandicoot was one of my favorite games, specifically the second one, it was my favorite. And then Spyro, but again, specifically the second one was my favorite. Yeah, those, and then Monster Rancher. Those of you may know I really love Monster Rancher, and I loved playing Monster Rancher so much when I was growing up, and it was one of my favorite games ever. I just really enjoyed it. So much on PlayStation and PlayStation 2 when I was a teenager. I just really loved so many things. Dynasty Warriors was another really great one. As much as I love Gundam, I've actually never played Dynasty Warriors Gundam. So sue me. I actually never played the Gundam games until recently, and I got this original like Mobile Suit Gundam game. This Mobile Suit Gundam game based on the original show, and so I don't count that because that's not old school to me because I played it as an adult. But and then of course my big favorite among all games